Yeah, that too. Got a lot of stuff going on, really. According to my life, I don't matter. And I know they're trying to eat me. How do you think people end up living under bridges and etc.? Some of them just don't. Maybe they just didn't get born with much in the head. Or they didn't, nobody cared about them, so they never learned anything. I can tell you, I know about that stuff too. Both of them. I want to smoke real bad, but it ain't gonna happen. Number one, I don't have the money. Number two, I don't wake up coughing. It's a good thing. That sucker hurts a lot when you cough. There's a lot of things that I've been watching, and I'm not really too talkative if I'm not drinking. I could definitely run a lot of things if I had the right people. They didn't have to be perfect. They just have to. I had to have the job, and they got to listen. You see, right now I don't have a job, and a lot of people are in that situation, and I'm hearing this a lot. If you lost your middle class job, you ain't gonna get it back because nobody is musical chairs. Nobody wants to give up their spot, and right about now, everybody's hanging on to it for dear life. And there are good rich. I mean, honestly, Warren Buffett's a good guy. He started out delivering newspapers in the middle of the last depression. Excuse me. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in how societies figure out who is what and why is what and how they all should be treated. Even though I have been a successful manager, I can prove it, but I don't look like it. I was okay as long as I was part of them, And once I made it into the circle, you're okay. Getting into that goddamn circle is tough. Especially considering I'm not big on promoting myself. Well, I am in a sort of way, but I mean, I'm not big on building mountains out of molehills. The job isn't, at least being a lowercase manager. Higher case managers, maybe you need to know a whole lot more. I know for a fact you don't do that much, but you have to understand what those below you are doing, so the job gets done. And if they ain't doing it, you say, you see, I see this, this, and this. This is cool. This makes sense. But a lot of what you're doing doesn't. On CNN, Margaret Thatcher, the Iron Lady of Britain, before there was a European Union, said, how the heck do you think this is going to work? You're going to make Europe like America, but America never went to war with it. I did once. But Europe has been at war with itself many, many times. She was like, well, you know, Germany, the powerhouse, wasn't after it got beat up, but it tends to do that. It tends to care about itself. It doesn't pay its workers too little. It tries to balance the rich and the working class. You know, a lot of them don't. France is having an issue. They're like, we're going to try and, because supposedly we're the heart of Europe, which may be cool, maybe not. You see, the villains want to eat you. They elected a socialist leader who's probably looking at Northern Europe and saying this is how they do it, and they're the happiest people on the planet. You know, don't know how they did it, but we're going to try it, and that bastard ain't going to like us. We'll see. In the Bible, it said eventually Europe would become a monster again. We'll see. If goodness prevails, which it's not supposed to, but if it does, I doubt Europe would be a monster. But if the villains win, then they force you to be like Germany did in its bad days a couple of times. Do this or die, and you're going to die anyhow because we rule, you suck. I even got an application from the local Rite Aid. The manager looks like a typical manager, you know, shaved head, about body size like mine, but don't look like I do. Looks like a typical manager. You're not one of us. I said the same thing, you know, when I was a manager. If you're not floating the right kind of energy, then I doubt I could trust you. But I trust a lot more than they do. There's a lot of shit going to go down. Kind of hope, I can get. I'm even considering delivering back in the middle of the poorest city in the fucking world, or not world, but the poorest city in America. I got out of that. I got to West Lawn. I get here. I'm like start a new chapter, you know. But this is even 4 years after 4 or 5 years after the recession, and I ain't getting no phone calls. I can be a good manager. I'm a good leader. I actually paid $1.98 to be on Casting 360. Most of the casting is done in Los Angeles, you know, and I ain't going there. But I'm a pretty intense character. A couple of them wrote me back, just ordinary guys like myself. Dude, man, you look like Charles Manson, dude. Yeah, sort of. You know, I can do what he does, but I'm actually the good guy and you were the bad. I can do what he does, but it ain't my style. He don't know how to do what I do. Man, I'd love to smoke a couple smokes. Number one, I can't buy them. I ain't got no money. I'm living off of her for a little while. Till somebody says, hey, you're actually smart and I can trust you. Yeah, right. In the game of Survivor, anybody that seems smarter than you, don't hire them. Don't even let them in because, man, they might take your job. It took me years to get past that to be manager because everybody that was manager did not want me anywhere close to their job because obviously I was smarter than they were. Finally got it and then they took it away. And now I got to do it again. That sucks. That's the middle class. We lost everything. And those who are richer than us, they don't want to be bothered with anybody messing with their stuff either. The good rich, there are some. They have no worries. I mean, I did it the right way. I felt that way. I taught my people everything. You can't solve problems, but I can teach you how to cover my ass when I can't do it myself. When you have fear, you don't teach. If you have no fear, you teach about it. Supposedly, my reflection is going to come back. So far, all I've been having is people biting me. Thankfully, Daddy allowed me to get here. I wasn't sure I'd get here. we actually had to get her car inspected. I can't afford to get mine inspected. If I don't have a job, ain't no point. But got her car inspected. I always got to replace your windshield wiper, which is to me just all profit to them because they really don't need to be. Not if it's only been driven like not that much, but it's typical. You got to get something. $152, and that's a lot to us at the moment. But in today's economy, $152, oh shit, that's just one service call. And they don't pay you that much though if you're in the working class. You do the work. Those who watch get paid a hell of a lot more. Stopped by the old house. Shockingly, they left the garage door unlocked. But they did put a lock on the back door, which I didn't have, because I had the back door locked. But just like I had to do with this house, the previous owner wasn't going to get nothing out of it either. So we cleaned it up for her. So they cleaned it up for us. And still nobody wants it. It's in the middle of the city, the poorest city probably in the United States for its size. It's a ghetto. The working class work here. The working class live here. And we pay them as little as possible and crowd them in as much as possible so we can get them to work for as little as possible. And they don't buy anything. All they do is give us their money. Got it? Yeah, that's the way it is. Deal with it. Now, how the heck is that supposed to be good? You do got to get a handle on breeding, actually. But I can tell you, I watch the news all the time. The fear runs the world. It always has. It shouldn't, but it does. Daddy gave them a head start. If you can actually trust your leaders to not be trying to screw you somehow, maybe you could actually live under their reign without getting beat the hell up and dead too early. Nature does that, actually. But without brains, it's never too early. You're just being part of nature. When you got a brain, then you can think about what could I be doing to be more useful. History says that most humans were not thinking about what could I be doing that's more useful, is what could I be doing to fatten myself up. Do as little as possible and get as much out of doing as little as possible for what I do. Everybody thinks that way, Not everybody, but most of them, and that's why there's wars. I go beat the crap out of them, and then they work for us. For nothing. Yeah. And eventually they build up enough population that you can't do that no more because you got fat and lazy. And they grew up enough that they could knock you down. And then somebody else takes over and they get fat and lazy and they get knocked down. You see what I'm talking about? This is not balance. This is not good. This is nature. In nature, without brains, that's okay. That's seasons. But we humans think we should always be living like gods. So you see, I just don't know how the heck you expect that to happen when you're not acting like them. I might make another video. I don't know. I'm pretty miserable. I'm a damn good leader. I'm a damn good manager. I don't treat nobody unfairly. I give everybody that treats. It's like they say. You don't have to look like me or sound like me. I just have to feel. They would say the same thing, like you're not gonna screw me. But I don't make the same rules. You don't have to look like me. Who does? 1970s, you looked a little bit like this. 60s, when I had the long hair. But I just want to know that you actually care about each other. You know, Rodney King just died the other day, found in his pool. Even he said before, well, actually after he got skunked real bad, because he was scared to death. Oh my God, I live in Los Angeles, and I just fucked up. And he ran because he knew he was going to get beat. And when he finally got caught, he knew he was going to get beat. And somebody actually had a video camera back then. Jeez. Everybody's got a video camera now. Why is it so hard to be decent? Well, I know there's overpopulation and there's over-egos and all that stuff, but still, even today, why do you have to hate each other so much?